Aren't you just sick of hearing German success stories? They always win the football, they're the first on the beach, and while Britain faces cutbacks and eye-watering debts, just look how well the Germans are doing.
We need, frankly, to have a more Germanic approach.
Employment is at record levels and it's a world-beating exporter. What's more, the Germans earn more than us and work fewer hours.
Cheers, Justin.
So how do they do it? I'm Justin Rolat, a journalist.
You speak English?
And I'm Bea Rolat, a writer. And we're on a mission to discover the secret of German success.
It's like kid heaven.
We're taking the kids with us and we're going in. Yes, there'll be beer and sausages, but this is no holiday. We're going to work.
Just one text.
No, sorry. You're here to work.
Live.
It's too loud.
Well, we are too loud.
You're too loud.
And play.
Red Army! Red Army!
Just like average, ordinary Germans. Because our challenge is to become German.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens.
You want soup? Hold on, you've got lovely food.
I live in North London with my wife Bea and our 4 children.
We are in a week or so. They have socks in Germany, do they? They probably have, better socks than we've got.
There's quite a kind of tradition of, 2 world wars, 1 World Cup, that kind of attitude to Germany and Britain. And I think it'd be quite interesting to see what the Germans think of us. We've obviously suffered terrible industrial decline since the Second World War. The Germans have done, pretty well. They're still a major industrial nation. And it'd be quite interesting to see what they think of Britain.
Put those.
Okay.
Can you put them in there for me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Whoops.
I'm actually half German, but I never grew up there. I grew up in this country. My dad's German, but my parents separated when I was little.
I don't want to be disloyal. There's nothing wrong with being half German, so it's not a problem. But maybe there are a few kind of sort of Teutonic qualities that she has.
I can't believe I'm sharing this, but I quite like sitting on the toilet with the door open and I'll just, have a merry exchange with anyone who passes by. And Justin thinks that's really German. I just think that's the way I grew up.
What's also really German is small families. The German birth rate is low and falling, just 1.4 children per couple. So the first step in making us German is to leave our eldest 2, Eva and Zola, at home with Granny.
I'm going to miss them, but it's quite nice to have a break sometimes from all the loudness and everything.
I think it's going to be brilliant and I'm not going to miss them at all.
First off, we need somewhere to live. We've moved to Nuremberg in the heart of Bavaria. It's famous for its gingerbread, its sausages, and its Nazi history.
Hello, are you Mrs. Holler?
Yes, yes.
We've rented a flat from Mrs. Holler.
Okay.
We Brits may be obsessed with buying property, but Germans aren't. More than half of them rent compared to just a third of us.
I really like this.
Oh, it's really warm.
And I can see why. Rents are cheap. This 2-bed flat costs €135 a week.
Kinder.
Kinderbett. 1 Kinderbett, 2 Kinderbett, 3 Kinderbett.
In Britain, I think we're obsessed with ownership, and here in Germany they seem happy to rent, and they rent for a really long time. She was saying people would stay for 10, 20 years in a rented property. In Britain, there's this real kind of pressure and expectation that if you can, you'll buy. And do you know what? I actually think it seems a lot healthier. It means the Germans don't saddle themselves with huge debts. In Britain, the average family owes £53,000, including mortgages. In Germany, it's just under £30,000. The kids are making themselves at home, and I'm expecting our first German visitor.
Hiya.
Hey, hi, I'm PJ.
PJ is an advertising guru. His ad agency specialises in knowing exactly what the average German does every minute of every day.
We did quite a lot of research on how the typical German lives, actually.
Yeah.
I brought you some things to learn about typical German in this area.
Und damit auch die Durchschnittsdeutschen.
And according to the film, the typical German is called Müller, the nation's most common surname, and lives in a 1970s apartment block.
Müller.
Like this. A flat just like ours.
That's the...
Mutter Sabine Müller.
Sabina is the most common female name, so that's me.
And here's me. Thomas Müller is the most common male name.
Das ist der häufigste deutsche Männervorname.
The Müllers only have one child, unlike us.
Hat die deutsche Durchschnittsfamilie also eher einen Sohn.
Germans certainly get up early, 20 minutes earlier than the average Brit.
Auf den Boden knallt.
Let's talk about tomorrow morning. Okay, are you prepared to go a bit earlier than usual? I don't know. 6:23.
6:23.
That's the,
that is early.
Yeah. That's when you have to get up. And then the good thing is you can take a bit of time in the bathroom.
Doch was machen
The video goes into extraordinary detail.
Na klar.
No surprise that I pee standing up, but then I sit down and read the sports section of the paper. German men sit on the loo for twice as long as German women. And when it comes to loo paper, the Germans are folders, not crumplers. In fact, I get 24.6 minutes in the bathroom.
I get to sleep a bit longer and spend 28.1 minutes in the bathroom.
Sie haben richtig gehört.
With two little children being in the family and not in school, the typical German wife would not go to work actually.
Really?
Yeah. Spend time at home with the kids, doing housework. Also to teach the kids proper table manners.
That's important to Germans,
that
is
is
it?
valued highly actually. Yeah. There's a certain amount of good behavior and how you do things in a certain structure and order. Still is very important.
PJ gives us a German rule book which he wants us to follow. A checklist telling us everything from the amount of housework to our daily pork intake.
I just don't believe that most women want to do 4 hours and 11 minutes of cooking, washing and cleaning. I'll give it a go. I'll definitely try it. I'm going to do my best.
It doesn't look fair though, does it?
It doesn't. You get to sleep and then you get to go out and eat loads of potato, pork, white cheese.
Listen, you get the same
I get
potato.
brown bread and you get white bread.
But you get the same amount of pork, same amount of potatoes, and the same amount of beer as me. I mean, that's very...
Right. But your life looks normal. To me, that just doesn't look like a normal life. But that could be that, I'm not typical. I don't know.
Half an hour in
Maybe
the bathroom
I will
is a
love
long
it.
time, isn't it? We've rented an average German car. A VW Golf is right there, bang in the middle of what the Germans would drive. It's kind of rock solid, it's not flash, but it's kind of well made. And of course they buy German, which is quite interesting, isn't it? Germany has one of the most successful car industries in the world. And here, success certainly starts at home. 2/3 of all the cars on the road are German.
Will, do you want to choose an egg? Look! Which one was yours? Is this one yours, Elsa?
Time to discover a bit more about Nuremberg's history.
The Imperial Castle.
It was one of medieval Germany's most important centres, but most of the old city was destroyed by Allied bombing during the war. Since then, the city has been rebuilt and many of the ruined buildings restored. Really sharp roofs, haven't they? The city was a centre of the Nazi regime. The Nazi mayor called it Germany's most German city, and it is here that Hitler held his infamous Nuremberg rallies.
Hello.
Hello.
We meet historian Hans Christian Teubrich.
We are on the former Nazi Party rally grounds, a huge area covering some 11 square kilometers. It was created in 1933 when Hitler designed Nuremberg as the city of the party rallies.
So the high-ups, the leaders of the Nazi party would be here, looking out on this kind of, it's vast parade ground, isn't it? So I'm standing where Adolf Hitler stood.
Yes.
Als meine alten Treuen ist Aules S-Männer, Sieg heil!
I wonder, look at this, because obviously it's partly a lorry park, isn't it? And
Yes.
I wonder whether that doesn't reflect a kind of ambivalence about what you do with a historical site like this.
This is not a memorial site. Now the whole grounds in the last decades have always been used for most profane purposes. For example, parking lorries here, race cars are touring around here. They have festivals. Bob Dylan had been playing here and the Rolling Stones.
In Britain, we still seem to be obsessed by our victory in the Second World War. It's so interesting to see here at the rally ground how Germany is still wrestling with the ghosts of its past. You can't help but feel that losing the war meant Germany had to pull together as a nation to rebuild. It couldn't be complacent. And while Britain's economy has faltered, Germany's has thrived. The wild things, William. Like the Müllers, after our daily limit of 0.27 litres of beer, we're tucked up in bed at exactly 11:15 for a bit of average German sleep. I'm working to German timetables now. I reckon that was 7 minutes, 8 minutes maybe. Nothing more than that. I don't know what they're doing there. What are they doing for 20 minutes? We're going to get some pork products going. I've got to eat 1.1 kilos of pork a week. Nuremberg is an important manufacturing centre. There's Siemens, the electrical company, Adidas and Puma churning out trainers. I'm going to be a trainee supervisor at Faber-Castell, the world's oldest pencil manufacturer. It produces a sixth of the world's pencils. Small and medium-sized businesses like Faber-Castell are the backbone of the German economy, employing almost 2/3 of the German workforce. They're known as the Mittelstand and are mostly family-owned. The average German starts work at 7:49. Already, I'm below average.
Hello, Justin.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Yeah, very good.
You're late.
I know. Ein bisschen spät.
Bisschen spät.
Ein bisschen spät. I'm very sorry. I had to catch public transport and I got kind of a bit lost. I'm doing an 8-hour day, and that includes an hour for lunch. That's almost an hour less than we Brits work. How come they work less than us, yet are more productive?
Guten Morgen.
Servus.
Hi.
Hi. Danny.
Danny? Danny?
German?
No, I have no German.
No German?
No German. Okay, where do I start?
Job for you is to check if those pencils might stick together. Oh, they are okay. As long as you try. This one back and green button. Okay, now your job is just to keep an eye on the pencils and the machine.
I work in the lacquering department. My job is to watch over the machines in case something goes wrong. You've got to stay focused.
Weil bei dem musst du halt, weil sonst kleben die dann, ne? Und dann.
Oh, they're falling off.
Aber das passt jetzt schon, passt schon.
It's making 336 pencils a minute. I mean, already I've made 1,500 pencils. It's all going quite smoothly, although it seems I'm not paying enough attention.
It doesn't work?
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah?
You know, and normally, you go around, make clean the machine.
Okay. He said, no, you don't rest. You know, you're here to work and you should be sweeping the floor. You know, he said, if I see you doing that, I'll just give you another machine and then you'll be really busy.
He's doing well, but he's a bit slow. So I think he will run into troubles. He has a lot to do. And right now, he isn't doing that much.
Look outside, it's snowing.
Unlike Justin, I've had a bit of a lie-in.
Some hot milk?
Yes, please.
The average German mother with children under 3 is a stay-at-home mum. My task is to become more like Mrs. Muller, the average housewife. She does precisely 4 hours and 11 minutes of housework a day.
This is very different to my London life.
And to be honest, 4 hours of housework is a lot. Should I be sort of hoovering the ceiling or something?
To teach me some of the tricks of becoming a German housewife, I've got someone from the Hausfraubund coming round, the German version of the Women's Institute.
Oh God, is that her? Oh yeah, to be honest, I'm a little bit on the defensive. I'm expecting to be judged. So anyway, too late to do anything about all our booze.
Hello.
Hello.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to
I'm
meet
Bea.
you.
This is a big bag.
Yes, for all the things we need to cook
right.
a typical German meal. The English says to the German, the krauts.
The krauts, yes.
The krauts.
Krauts, yes.
Yes.
That's not very nice, but they do
I
say
thought
that.
we cook kraut.
Oh, right. Okay.
My name is Eva Kehrig and I am a master
Yes.
of housekeeping. Die Zeit zu managen.
Yes.
Time management.
You correctly.
Yes. Das Budget zu planen, money.
So first you plan your time.
Yes.
Then you plan your budget and your money.
Yes.
Right.
Planen. Wir
So
planen
we plan
das
the
Kochen.
cooking. For a
Dann-
week or for one day?
Wisi.
For a week?
For a week.
You plan your cooking
Yes.
for a whole week ahead?
Yes.
Oh, I never
Okay.
do that. I'm learning how to make a local noodle dish efficiently, Spätzle.
I like this machine.
Do you like to...
Shall I peel it?
Wie viel Zeit Sie mit dieser Tätigkeit verbringen?
I'm not much of a domestic goddess, but I'm happy to learn.
Shall we go to lunch?
Okay. Football war geil.
Yeah, football. Yeah, we got
Very,
it.
very good.
I didn't see it. And what was the score?
4-1 halt, ne?
Uh-huh.
Genau.
4-1.
4-1 für Deutschland.
I notice a big difference down in the canteen. All the meals are subsidised. My Leberkäse only cost €1.
It's like a whipped pork.
I'm discovering that building staff loyalty, generating a sense of common purpose, is an important part of the Mittelstand. I sit next to Timo, who's 22.
I began to work at 2008 in a learn job.
They're like an apprentice. We call it in Britain. Yeah, you started to learn.
To learn, yes. Learn a mechanic.
So is this a good place to work?
Yes, a very good place. I love it.
How long have you been doing it?
10 years.
10 years?
Yeah. 10 years.
So you're quite an expert.
There you go.
Yeah.
When Timo and Danny were 15 years old, they went to a Berufsschule, an apprenticeship school. In Britain, the emphasis is on going to university, but manufacturing skills are highly regarded in Germany, and more than half of young Germans join an apprenticeship scheme. Most young trainees will land a job in the Mittelstand, often for life.
It's just relentless, isn't it? That kind of sound of industry, isn't it? The part kind of just going on and on.
This emphasis on training for industry certainly seems to work. Germany is the world's third biggest exporter after China and the USA. This factory is a case in point. I'm amazed that Germany can still lead the world in a technology as simple and easy to copy as the pencil.
Oh, and I can feel it. I can feel it in my legs, standing up the whole time. Yeah, I really felt that people come in and work hard. There was very little chat, and what there was, when they talked to each other, it was always about work. It was always about work. Really, really focused.
On my way home, I meet the current head of the family Pencil dynasty. He is the Graf or Count, a direct descendant of the founder.
I stick to handheld products. Whatever has to do with manufacturing computers would be suicidal, because we are a medium-sized, smaller company, and we should focus on the traditional products where we are really good at.
So is that the secret of these German businesses, that they focus on one tiny bit of business but do it on a world scale?
Exactly. That's typical for Mittelstand companies, that they don't stick only to the German market. They transfer their know-how into other markets, and they try to act globally.
The Mittelstand philosophy seems to pay off. The Graf's business is doing well, and I,
hey babe, how are you?
Get to go home early.
Hey Elsa.
It's nice to have more family time.
I said I'm going to fall back.
I got you.
So listen babe, how much housework have you done? Have you cooked me dinner?
No, I'm not going to.
How much? No, seriously, you've done some vacuuming, yeah?
I've hoovered, yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah. I've hoovered, given the kids a bath. About half an hour.
Half an hour? You've got loads. Go back to the house. Get back and start cleaning.
Better get cooking. Yikes, get the oven on.
I've invited the neighbours round for some German hospitality. I'm trying out a German menu. Nuremberg sausages and my granny's potato salad.
Justin's nipped out with the kids. And this is the annoying thing, Justin's really good at cooking, much better than me. So normally if we were entertaining, having actual people around, especially people that we don't know, he would do all this.
Hello. Hello, come in, come in.
Our guests are our landlady, Frau Holler, and her partner, Werner, who's a decorator.
Oh, thank you very much, German. Yeah, that's lovely. Hello.
There's Granny, known as Oma.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Justin.
Jürgen, a policeman.
Hi. Hiya.
I'm Tanya.
Hiya, Tanya.
And students, Tanya and Alex.
For starters, 4 sausages for you.
Would you say that Nuremberg is a kind of typical German city?
Yeah, traditional city.
What kind of a neighbourhood is this? It seems good, I like it.
It's difficult.
Why?
There are many different cultures here in Nuremberg, and there are many immigrants.
Where do they come from?
They're Turkish, I think.
Turkish.
Mostly Turkish. And why is that? Does that make it difficult living here?
A little bit, but not. It's not a problem.
Can I ask, what do you think of Britain? You know, is it doing well? How successful is Britain?
I think it's rainy and boring.
Don't hold back, would you?
You hear nothing about Britain.
You don't hear anything about Britain?
No, not really.
Sometimes about the Queen.
She was in the hospital.
That's right. That's right.
But that's all what you hear in
What about things like hard work? Do Germans work hard?
Yes.
So we work the same hours as you, but we're not as
We
successful.
work more hours.
Yeah?
Yeah, we work more hours and we produce less.
So what are we doing
For
wrong?
example, I was in
Difficult.
England. I was in England for an exchange year or something like that. And I was in the office, and the people are talking all the time about their private things. So
Gossiping.
yeah, it's what have you do? What did you at the weekend? Oh, what's the plan for tonight? And all the time, and drinking coffee and.
In Britain, it's quite common for people to be doing Facebook in the office.
It's not allowed.
It's not allowed, okay.
No
but if you
private
tried, you
mails.
would lose your
No private
email.
No private email.
No, nothing. Wow.
Gosh, meet
all
all
of
of
you.
you.
Was the
invitation. Thank you.
The eating was
Really
very
good.
good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye, thank you very much.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Okay.
They were
went
really
really well, don't you,
nice.
Pete?
They were really nice.
Tanya was obviously horrified when she'd gone to Britain to see how little British people work and the fact they're all on Facebook and they're kind of texting their friends, emailing their friends, you know, on making personal phone calls from work. And she clearly thought that was really bad discipline, and that was, you know, well, very good to meet ordinary Germans and just hear what they have to say. At work, I'm checking out the German attitude towards texting and calls.
Justin, you need to care for your work, not for your cell phone.
Really? You're not allowed to use your phone?
No.
Just one text?
No, sorry.
No?
No, you're here to work.
No, never
care for those pencils, not for the cell phone. No.
Only one text.
I've managed to find Elsa, who's 6, a place in a Waldkindergarten just outside Nuremberg. It's a forest kindergarten, a particularly German approach to education.
I think we're going to be about a quarter of an hour late. I hope it's going to be acceptable in a German kindergarten.
One thing German success is not based on is hot housing young children. German kids don't even have to go to school until they're 6. Ours are mostly in class by 4.
Weiß auch schon jemand, wie das Kind heißt? Die Anna weiß es. Elfa, so ähnlich. Elsa.
And what time do the children arrive?
Ja, ab 8 Uhr.
From 8 o'clock? So they arrive at 8 o'clock?
Ja.
So they have lunch here?
Ja.
And it's all outside? Alles ist draußen?
Ja, genau.
There are no primary school SATs here. Children spend the day out in the forest, whatever the weather, and even go to the toilet in the woods. Toys are banned, and children create their own games and interact with nature.
This is just great for Elsa. She won't want to go back to a normal, centrally heated classroom. I love it. A tree full of children. It's fantastic. It's like kid heaven.
How much does it cost for a child to come to Waldkindergarten?
The price in the month is 159 euros.
Every day, coming every day. That's, for a British person, that's astonishingly cheap. That's a fraction of what we pay for private nursery fees.
That's just over £25 a week. I'm beginning to see a definite upside to life here.
Good morning. Hello, I'm Justin.
Anne-Lore Hugemann.
Anne-Lore Hugemann.
Yes.
So you're going to give me a checkup?
If it hurts, you tell me, please.
Okay. This morning, I'm reporting to the company doctor for a health check.
No, it's okay.
I hope so.
Yeah. Now I want to look at your legs. Varicosis, you don't have.
No, I don't have varicosis.
You don't have. No,
No,
your
no.
legs are okay.
My legs are good.
And they are not. Yes, they are good. Would you try to do this? Yeah, okay. Is it possible that your left leg is a little bit shorter?
No.
No? Do you smoke?
No.
No. And how is it with alcohol?
It's good. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Do you drink it every day?
Yeah.
Or every day?
Probably every day.
Yeah.
Most days. Not
Yeah.
every day, but mostly. I drink
mostly.
probably too much.
Everything I did was okay.
Okay. Thank
Yes,
you very much
yes,
indeed. Thank you, doctor.
I wish you the very best.
Thank you. That was much more thorough than I expected. Then I'm reporting to HR to discuss my salary.
All right. So Justin, if you look here, you can see your basic salary. It's around about 2,250 euros.
That's not bad.
Transport allowance and money for working in shifts. All in all, it's 2,802 euros is your
That's
gross.
per month. It just happens to be the average full-time salary in Germany, so I'm bang on the average. And how much holiday? How much holiday will I get?
30 days.
30 days, 6 weeks holiday.
6 weeks holiday.
That's
per
really
week.
good. I see there's tax here, so we've got what?
First of all, you have to pay income taxes, health insurances, pension insurance, and unemployment insurance. And last but not least, here, Pflegeversicherung means nursing care insurance.
That seems quite a good package to me. I pay less tax because B's not working and because we've got kids, and there's a decent pension and nursing care when I'm old.
You will receive an additional bonus that depends on the performance of the entire production team.
I wonder if this is part of that Mittelstand communal ethos, collective responsibility rewarded with a shared team bonus.
William and I have been invited to a mother and toddlers group by one of the mums at nursery. I want to understand why so few mothers with young children here work.
Thanks for having us here. This is really nice. Can I ask, do any of you work at all? Do any of you?
I think it's German mothers don't want to give their children in nurseries or kindergartens for the whole day.
Right.
They want to keep them at home. I think it's a traditional problem of German mothers.
In Germany, 2/3 of mothers with children under 3 are stay-at-home mums, compared to 1/3 in Britain.
Friends of mine who don't work, who are mums in Britain, have sometimes said that when people are, that they hate the question, oh, so, what do you do? Because they feel that saying, oh, I'm a mum, is not enough.
Yeah. You have to organize the whole life of a family, and this is a hard job.
So you wouldn't go, oh, I'm just a mum.
No,
you go,
not at all. I know,
mum.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's great that motherhood is a source of pride here in Germany, but there is a stigma attached to being a working mother. They're called Rabenmutters, raven mums, that neglect their young. The German school day doesn't help working mums either.
It's not possible. My daughter, school starts at 8 o'clock, and 3 times in the week she comes back at 11:15.
Seriously?
You can't work part-time.
And that's not nursery, that's school.
That's school.
There's a big contrast with Britain that actually financially it's much better not to work as a mum here than in Britain. You get good tax breaks and you get benefits.
When I go to work, I pay so much tax that it's nothing at the end of the month in my hands.
There's nothing left.
No, nothing left.
Yeah.
Really left. So as I stay at home and be with my kids.
That kindergarten is amazing, but there's something that's still bothering me, and it's that German women, or more specifically German mothers, aren't getting back into the workforce. They work less than all of their European counterparts. And even more alarmingly, I've read that at boardroom, at CEO level, representation of women is 2% in Germany. I mean, in Britain, we manage, I think it's about 14%. So I find that really shocking. And I think that whatever the push-pull factors are that keep women at home, be it financial incentives or the strange German school day that starts early but finishes at lunchtime, Germany needs to address this so that women can have a fulfilling career. To keep up with Sabine Müller, I've still got 3 of my 4 hours of housework to do. Germans are well known for their recycling. Half of all municipal waste is recycled, twice as much as in the UK.
Is the blue a paper? Paper, yes.
I've just done a bit of hoovering and chucked a few things in the sink. I definitely haven't been doing my 4.5 hours or 4.28 hours a day. Not even close. So that's a big fat fail on the Hausfrau front.
It's tea time and I'm already on my way home. You can learn quite a lot about a culture when you get behind the wheel. Obviously it's a new car and I'm a little bit nervous, and other drivers are really on your case. If you make even a slight mistake, you leave your indicator on for too long, they'll start beeping their horns and telling you, which, you don't want to read too much into it, but I think says a lot about the way that German society is ordered. If you transgress, if you make a mistake, then people will point it out to you. And that's one of the reasons why it works so well. I think there's a bit of my Anglo-Saxon nature which doesn't want to be told, Because my challenge is to be more German, I've got to do what Germans do, and that means joining a club. There are over 500,000 of them across the country. I'm trying out one of the most traditional, a singing club. Hi, I'm Justin. Thank you very much for letting me join you tonight. The problem is, I'm not much of a singer.
Justin, do you want to sing in the bass?
Sorry?
In the bass or in the tenor?
I think I'm probably a tenor. Tenor? I've come to the right place. Good.
Tanz mit mir, ich will mit dir das Leben froh genießen. Wir wollen das Glück der ganzen Welt in uns erschließen. Und leicht wie der Wind und leicht wie gesinnt, lässt uns das Glück entstehen. Das Leben beginnt, jetzt liebenswert zu sein.
Natürlich. Was heißt Zungenbrecher auf Englisch?
Yeah, I got completely lost. So how popular are clubs like this?
A few one here in the year by Nuremberg. I think between 100.
100 clubs just
100 clubs just around Nuremberg. Wow.
You don't go home and go to bed and go to work and go home and go to bed. You go here and have some fun and meet other people and also sing. It's good for the feeling.
And it's nice, you like it also because there's something purposeful about it.
Yeah.
You're not just coming and having a drink or eat.
We have that anyway.
Yeah, you can do that. So you like the sense of purpose,
yes.
Communal purpose.
Yes.
It seems this is about more than just singing. I get the sense there's also something about wanting to be part of a community, doing something together with a group of like-minded people. Yes. Britain seems a lot less community-orientated, much more individualistic. I hope my voice didn't ruin a great evening.
To be honest, I think Bee's getting a bit annoyed. I mean, normally the kids are a bit nursery and she wouldn't have to look after them every day. She wouldn't have to do this 4.5 hours of housework, and I think it's getting a bit tedious. I think she's getting a bit bored of it all. And a bit annoyed, to be honest.
No, we're this way, love.
Tensions are rising in the Rolat family.
Where shall I go? Which one? Which one for me? Where shall I work? Shall I do these two? Okay.
Just like at the choir, the emphasis is on the team, not the individual. And they're giving me more responsibility. I'm now looking after 3 machines under the supervision of Danny.
It does seem a sense of common purpose and pride in what they do, in a way that, you know, does make it feel, it makes you want to work hard yourself. You know, you don't want to let down, you know, Danny and Brigitte by kind of slacking, because they're working hard and putting a lot into it.
Like Mrs. Muller, I'm off to a discount supermarket. Germany has the tightest profit margins in the retail trade. Germany's relationship to money has its roots in the past. The memory of post-war hardships lives on, and even now they're cautious about spending. The German word for debt is Schulden, which means guilt. So credit cards aren't popular and most people pay in cash. And Germans save much more than we do, 10% of the family budget, compared to the 1% we Brits manage. That means German banks have more capital, more money to lend out to German companies, which has helped them invest and expand over decades.
But actually it was decent value, you know, because I had to buy things like nappies and toothpaste, bought a few beers as well. I was surprised. I thought it was going to cost more.
Getting home early gives me plenty of time to catch up with my TV quota.
Hey, hello. How are you doing, Elsa?
She's really tired. He's really, really tired.
After bargain hunting in the shops, there's still work to do to meet those demanding German targets for housework.
Oh, I like those ones.
It's time to check our guidebook. We're trying to be average Germans, so how average are we?
No, absolutely. I have failed to spend 4 hours, 11 minutes doing cooking, washing and cleaning. I just don't see how anyone can.
I mean, there seems to be a real emphasis on parents spending time with their kids in Germany. And that's, I think that's really impressive. And that seems to be encouraged by the state as well.
They're encouraging mums to stay with the kids, not so much the dads.
Mostly mums, yeah, I suppose it is mostly mums. But that's, that's not a bad thing, is it? To offer women the choice not to work and to be at home.
It's about prescribing other people's lives. You clearly don't have a problem with that because it hasn't happened to you. Your life has not been prescribed or dictated by someone else or dictated by society. So you seem quite happy to impose that on others. What I'm saying is I'm not entirely convinced that they all want to stay at home. Some of them might do, and if people want to, that's great, go for it. But if,
But can you see that if you provide the money, the support for women by giving them money and subsidised childcare and wholly open their jobs, you give them freedom of choice so they can choose. That's what I'm saying. It's a freedom of choice.
Coming from you,
that's coming from me. Don't make it personal.
Well, it is personal. The political is personal, isn't it? From the little boy who said to his mother, "You're not as important as Daddy because Daddy goes out to work." You said that to your own mum, didn't you, Justin? Yes. Oh. You just want someone else to pay for it. You think if the state pays for it, then that's a good thing. Well, I put it that that women should be functioning members of society.
You're not debating.
I don't sign up to that, and I think most women wouldn't. I think it's
Oh, gross. Danke schön.
It's time for me to get personal with my colleagues too. I want to know how much they earn.
The German economy is doing very well. Worldwide, compared to the rest of the world. But how are wages? What are wages like here? Are wages going up rapidly as the German economy grows?
Not really, no.
No?
No, it's roughly a correction of the inflation, not more.
Right, so nobody's...
Actually, no win. I don't see any boom or success right now.
That's true for most German workers. The German economy may be doing well internationally, but in real terms, wages haven't gone up in 20 years. One reason is reunification. The West had to bear the burden of modernising the economy of East Germany. It affected everyone in Germany. Often workers traded wage increases for job security. Now German taxpayers are picking up the tab for the debts of the Eurozone. Ever since Danny came over from the East, he's had a steady job.
When did you come here?
89 damals, also 1989. Ne?
1989, when the wall first came down?
Ja.
You came.
Ja. Ja. Und no money, no einfach nur die 100 Marks damals.
100 Marks, ist das
genau, wo
per person,
ja, jeder. Ja, und sonst no. Und dann einfach in den Zug eingestiegen. Also wie gesagt, kein Geld, kein nix und einfach Invest. Und bei uns die Augen so halt. Ne? Also, ja. Das war schon
They were like wide-eyed to see you coming.
Ja.
Reunification is another example of the Germans' ability to overcome adversity. But it seems their sense of community does not apply to all Germans. We live in Gostenhof, a trendy area of Nuremberg that's often called Goho, like Soho in New York. It's multicultural. 40% of residents here aren't ethnic Germans. There's been a lot of immigration to Germany over the years, 9.1% of the population are from abroad, compared to 7.6% in the UK. Most immigrants to Germany are Turkish. They first came over in the 60s as Gastarbeiter, or guest workers, when Germany had a labour shortage. I'm meeting Alev, a local writer who was born here to Turkish parents. What was the attitude when you were growing up?
The Turks, I mean, they're uneducated, they don't speak German very well, criminals, lower class. It was actually pretty difficult because I was born as a Turkish citizen, because Germany didn't claim us at the time, only when I was like 28 years old.
When you were
or something.
28?
Yeah.
Despite being born in Germany?
Yeah, definitely.
So you didn't have proper rights as a German citizen until you were 28 years old?
In Germany is a country that's based on this exclusion.
What do you mean by that?
Exclusion as in they like to separate, they like to select the best. But I mean, Germany is a multicultural society, right? I mean, the people are here, we're here, but are we represented in the top positions? Are we represented in organizations? Are we represented in politics? Absolutely not. We are excluded.
Mass immigration has been a challenge for many European countries, and it's certainly causing tension here. Now it's my turn to do some housework. Even Thomas Müller does an hour a day. I'm cooking one of Germany's most celebrated national dishes, no less, sauerkraut. Ready-made sauerkraut. It's not going to be gourmet cuisine. Andreas Falke is an economist at a local university. His wife is a teacher. I've invited them round because I still don't fully understand why German workers are so productive. We had some statistics about Germans, and we learned how much pork and potatoes Germans eat. 1 kilo a week of each.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to get our pork and potatoes in.
We have a quota that we have to fulfill.
Is there a different attitude, I wonder, to kind of industrial work?
I know that the label "Made in Germany" is not what it used to be, but I think many people still have that image of belonging maybe to a company that produces something that is really good and really competitive on the market. They're proud of working there. And other people, if the company has a good name, then they're proud to work for them.
You look at the steady growth of the German economy, but that hasn't been reflected in real incomes. So ordinary Germans haven't seen, they don't feel wealthy.
Because in the end, the ordinary German would say, I'm happy to keep my job and just have additional income maybe of 1%.
So I find it very striking.
This is a steadiness. It's this kind of Germans want to have a steady, calculable. They won't go for the 10%.
Security is important, I think.
They rather go for the steady improve. It's like in the companies. There's no Apple, there's no Amazon, no.
So instead of Amazon or Microsoft, you have the Mittelstand. All these small businesses that do little things very well.
Also this emphasis on really quality, that things work.
But unfortunately, something isn't working. My sauerkraut.
The sauerkraut, is there a reason why you served it cold?
Oh, you're supposed to serve it hot? I had no idea.
I'm just asking. I was wondering. No,
it's an English tradition.
I thought it was supposed to be cold. It's the weekend. I'm beginning to get a handle on why the Germans beat us in the workplace. But what about on the pitch? I'm off to Munich to watch the footy. Bayern Munich versus Hamburg. I'm meeting my workmates Danny and Timo at the match. German football is really interesting because it's yet another German success story. Look at this, I've got tickets for this big games, 15 euros, for really good seats. I mean, that's way cheaper than the Premier League. Unlike the freewheeling world of the English Premier League, where anyone can own anything, the German Bundesliga is a bit more restrained, a bit like German Mittelstand companies like Faber-Castell. Who owns the club here? Who owns Bayern Munich?
I mean, the members do, really. I mean,
it is possible to sell shares of the club, but only to a certain extent. So we have the so-called 50+1 rule, which means that 50% plus one share have to be owned
by members of the club. So by ordinary fans. So how does that change the way, do you think, that decisions are made?
Well, I think things like what's happening in many English football teams, just some billionaire from Russia or Malaysia or wherever, can change everything about the football team and has full control. And in Germany, this isn't so easy to do for the people with money. So it's more of a fan-based structure, really.
So I've just got a chili knacker. It's like a chili sausage. Typical football weather, to be honest.
Tod und Hass dem TSV! Tod und Hass dem TSV!
Which supporter are you?
Arsenal.
I have been there in...
Yeah, you were there last week. You were about 2 weeks ago.
Hey, do you know Arsenal? Arsenal! Arsenal! Arsenal!
Red Army! Red Army! Hey, Timo! Hey, how are you? Very good. Hey, Danny, how are you?
Hi.
What about the weather? It's cold. Cold. Yeah, it's very cold.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. It was a historic game, 9-2 to Bayern Munich. Sunday still plays a special role in German life. Over half of Germans are religious, and according to German law, Sunday is a day of rest and virtually all the shops are shut.
Snap! No! Give me
Hi, how are you doing? Good morning, how are you? Jürgen, the policeman we had over to dinner, has come to call.
Because I'm here, we have a little problem.
Hi,
Jürgen. Morning. It's too loud.
What, we are too loud?
You're too loud. Especially your children, they cry. It was too loud. A neighbor said to me that he heard all the time since 6 o'clock in the morning.
It was, they did get up quite early.
Yeah, I actually thought they were being quite good. They were just kind of playing and jumping around.
Yeah, it's not a problem. You don't understand me fully. But it's a good behavior in Germany on Sunday to be quiet. Because it's a holy day and
it offends other people.
Yes. Also, there are rules that you aren't allowed to do works like drilling or which make noise and also...
No housework, no cleaning.
Cleaning is okay, but nothing which make noise. Saturday.
because I found 27 snaps.
So it's an offence in law. Do people really observe it?
Yes, it's...
People really pay attention to this?
Really? People... You would be called out as a policeman?
Yes. Sometimes it costs 50 euros until 2,500 euros.
Really?
Jürgen, you haven't come to arrest us, have you?
Yeah. No. I said to you friendly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, that's very good advice.
But here in the city there are, how you said, many foreigners and they don't know this law and they sometimes don't know the neighbor and so they don't care and do whatever they want.
That must cause, trouble between neighbours.
Yes. Trouble begins with little things like the kinder are shouting or they're jumping or you also play a music instrument. It's a low level and it goes up. It escalates more and more.
So it's a question of respect.
Yes.
And just respecting the traditions and the conventions. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, Jürgen, thank you very much indeed. To keep the neighbours and the children happy, we're going to Germany's largest amusement park, Europa Park. During my time in Germany, we started with the kind of stereotypes, the average German, and I suppose the experience has been a move away. So it's quite ironic, really, that we've ended up here at Europa Park, which is a kind of celebration of European stereotypes, but brilliant, wonderful, and kind of loving of Europe as well.
There's an Easter egg hunt at the Wald Kindergarten.
Is that mine? Yeah, it says, look, it's from the Easter Bunny.
I want to find out how Elsa got on.
I would like to keep her here in the forest
Kindergarten.
kindergarten.
She's so happy. It makes me wish I was a child. I think it's really beautiful. There's a strong environmentalist message in this. It's about respecting nature. So, there's no trace left behind. They don't drop any rubbish. So I think that's a very typically German thing. And also I think there's a sense of an idealised version of childhood, without being measured for their literacy and their maths, and without being placed in a sort of artificially lit, enclosed environment that I think is quite typical in Germany.
It's my last day at the factory and time to hang up my pencil. To be honest, I've got quite used to it. I quite enjoy it. And, I can run 3 machines quite well. So I'm hoping that they're pleased with me. The only problem, I think, has been a bit of an issue with punctuality. It has been quite hard to get here on time.
Dann schalten wir mal die ab.
I think he improved. He did well with his 3 machines. Well, he had lots of help by Danny.
Ja, little bit bloß, also das fast gar nicht geholfen, weil er
Better than expected.
Sehr gut, also ja, hat sich sehr gut angestellt, der Justin, muss man schon sagen, ja, sehr gut. Also für das erste Mal, ne? Also,
yeah, good job.
Ja.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was really, you were so helpful.
Yeah.
You were helping me with the machine.
Very, very gerne.
No, it was good. It was really good. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, great opportunity.
How did I do? Was I okay?
Yeah, it was okay, really okay.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
good.
we should stay a bit longer, actually. Yeah.
Oh, hi! How are you?
Just before we leave, PJ the ad man is back, and he wants to know how successful we've been at becoming average Germans.
So the big goal in this, behaving a bit like the Müllers.
I didn't excel in the Hausfrau stakes. I like to go out and work. I find my work-life balance somehow, and I don't think that really fits into the mould as was set out to me.
Mm-hmm. Did you become Thomas now?
You only have to look at our diary of being a German to see that we didn't achieve that. I mean, I'll tell you the things that I managed to achieve religiously, without fail. Mm-hmm. I hit my pork quotas, I hit my potato quotas, and I exceeded my beer and wine quotas.
Good man, Justin.
We're not quite the Müllers yet, but we have learned a lot about being German. About how their hard work, efficiency and orderliness spring from a deep sense of community and responsibility towards each other. But something else has really impressed me too, and this may be to do with their country's history. They don't take their success for granted, and I think that's why the country is so good at focusing on the long term.
We did it.
Certainly did.
Cheers.
If you missed it earlier tonight, you can see Horizon's insight into the boom of health-related phone apps with Monitor Me tomorrow night at 11:20 here on BBC Two.